Hello, welcome to Our Kitchen Island. Today we're cooking with Jack. We're cooking turkey and chicken tacos. So let's get started. We've started by turning our oven on to 325, and we've got the stove on. We'll turn it on to I like to use the power burner, and turn it on to about a medium heat. And what we want to do is we want to get our spices nice and flavored by starting. So we've got about a tablespoon of paprika, a tablespoon of chili powder, a tablespoon of cumin, actually about a tablespoon and a half of cumin, and about a half a teaspoon of cayenne. You can use as much cayenne as you want. We don't like too much heat, but we do like some. I find it pops the flavors, but it's not about using about half a teaspoon. It's all about kicking up the other flavors and not about the heat. Also today we're using olive oil to get that going. I like to use coconut oil because it's better for using on the stove top, but we don't have any today, and olive oil works just as well. So we're just going to get those spices cooked up. Probably shouldn't take more than a minute. You got to be very careful that you don't cook them for too long or they will burn. And then we're going to add our meat. What we're using for meat today is 1.5 pounds of turkey and 1.5 pounds of dark chicken. So dark turkey and dark chicken, I find is a great substitute for beef. You can make this recipe with beef if you want, but as something a little bit different, we like to call them turkey tacos, but they're actually turkey and chicken tacos. So once your spices get going, if you cook them too much, you'll be able to smell it pretty quickly once they've burnt. Alright, so we're ready to add our meat now. Just put it in there and keep it moving. I like to start it on about a medium heat, but then kick it up to a higher heat. We don't want to steam the meat too much. We'd like it to kind of like to saute off a little bit more. So let's get that down, let's get that browning. Traditionally, I mean, it is easier if you do a little bit less meat than 3 pounds at once. But considering we're cooking for our family and we don't want to be using 3 saucepans for dinner, we're going to do it all at once. So as that's cooking and reducing down and cooking up nice, we'll keep that stirring, and we'll start prepping the mushrooms. Okay, our chicken's starting to cook and brown up here on the stove, our chicken and turkey. So we're just going to add about 2 teaspoons of Worcester. I use an organic vegan Worcester, but I think you probably recognize the international orange bottle a little bit better. And we're going to add about 2 teaspoons of salt also. Use a sea salt. It imparts the best flavor, and it's also the healthiest for you. So as that chicken's cooking down and browning up, I like to create something a little bit extra with the tacos, and I like to put in some mushrooms. So we're just going to get these mushrooms sauteing in a small pan. Just saute them off in some butter. Use a chunk of butter, probably about 2 tablespoons for, I had enough mushrooms here, I probably got about 10 small cremini mushrooms. So we're going to get that going over here, another pan. And just throw them in with the butter, let the butter melt, and add some salt and pepper. Be a great idea at this point to add some garlic as well, but since diet restrictions don't allow, we don't add any garlic for our recipe and our purposes today. If you're going to add garlic, all the taste, but 1 clove would be plenty for this. You could also start the tacos with onion and garlic. They're going to add some nice flavor to it. You don't miss it if it's not there, but it definitely enhances the flavor. But again, we don't add it just for dietary reasons. Okay, we're just letting these mushrooms cook down here. Make sure to move them around. The key is to get all the liquid out of it. So if you're really crunched for time, crank it up to high, add just a little bit of liquid, and they'll reduce even quicker. As you can see here, our turkey meat and chicken meat is cooking down pretty nicely. It's got some liquid in there, so what we do is at this point, once it's pretty brown, we're going to add in some cornstarch, about 1 to 2 tablespoons, depending on how much you need, how much juice it has, and I'll just help thicken up the liquid. You don't want to add it too early because it starts to get a little bit mucky sometimes and can start to stick to the bottom of the pan. Once you're at this point, you can turn the meat down to low and just let it simmer away for a bit. Okay, at this point we're going to get our wraps / shells into the oven. We're using a Ezekiel wrap. You can use tortilla wraps, you can use taco shells, depending on what you get and what you like and what your tastes are. We don't find corn agrees with us, so we like to use Ezekiel wraps. They come frozen, so we got to make sure that they get in the oven and get nice and soft. So we just put them in there for a couple minutes to soften them up, but make sure they don't get crispy, so we got to pull them over the tacos. So I'm just chopping up some fresh parsley right now to throw that in. Throw that in the taco mix. You can add fresh oregano, fresh basil, you can even add dried too, but we're just going to go with the fresh parsley today. Alright, so let that cook a little bit more. Let's get going on the toppings. So we got a couple tomatoes here, we're just going to dice them up. Some fresh tomatoes. I like to have small pieces of tomatoes in there. I find they integrate well into the taco. And we're going to get some fresh mozzarella. Our cheese grater out. Again, tomatoes, mozzarella, all to taste. I like to show you in a minute here, but I like to put them in the oven so that the cheese makes sure it's melted, because there's nothing better than melted cheese on your tacos. Alright, so we've got our mozzarella ready to go. We've got our tomatoes ready to go. Let's check on the mushrooms and we'll get ready to load those up. Okay, so we've got our tacos almost ready to go here. The meat's cooked away, so I'm just going to load our shells up here. They're in the oven for about a minute. Just enough to get soft, but not too soft. Nice good amount of meat in each one. So we're going to add some mushrooms next. Just 3 of them get mushrooms today, because one's for my 3-year-old who doesn't want them on his. And then we'll add our cheese. And our tomatoes. Fold them up and get them back in the oven and let that cheese melt. And once we get them out, we'll get them loaded up with sour cream and our salad or our lettuce, and we're ready to go. The oven off. As you can see, we've got about half leftovers because we like to have it for lunch tomorrow. So if you're just into it for making dinner, you can easily half the recipe and have a great dinner for two to four people. Take them out. Get a flipper here. Take one off the tray. Let's get over and finish dressing that taco. We just got some fresh lettuce here. And a little bit of sour cream. And we're set to go. And there you have your turkey and chicken tacos with an Ezekiel wrap.